Aces just released advanced tuning software update, build version 2.43. It's updated 1/22/2025. So let's just go over changes real quick. They posted the change log on the website. Strip chart, now you can do, it says fully upgraded to support real-time monitoring, so get live sensor feedback on pretty much everything that it's monitoring now. Some shortcuts, option for manipulating current monitoring data, monitoring gauge, tuning right to ECU, fix an error related to writing the data. Sometimes, when you went into to download a certain page or upload a certain page and while you're live tuning, it would crash out a lot. Various bugs and optimize the tracking. I haven't tested the tracking option. I just downloaded it, so getting first impressions, what's going on. First thing that I notice is when you go to select unit, it would always default back to metric. However, this time it did stay on imperial. I don't know if it was a fluke or is an actual fix that they finally done. Once you seems to remember last position. Strip chart, playback, start and stop feature. You can do the floating, navigate throughout the page and still see your sensor data. You can go through and edit. Like I said, if it's monitoring, you can now chart data. It's kind of handy if you're troubleshooting. The gauge, now you can see an output of your triggers for fan, key on. Just gives you more options here to select what you want to see, what you want to monitor. That's useful if you're in laptop and you need to see a bigger screen. I wish that it was actually easily scalable. You got to go through and manually manipulate these based off of aspect ratio, which is kind of silly. It'd be nice if it was just like it could see your screen ratio and adjust accordingly, or if there's like a right-click resize window and it would populate. That's going to be annoying, but if you use that, most of the time people are just tuning with the laptop, but that's just a few things I've seen. So they didn't give a ECT offset, global offset. If you got a bad sensor and just do a 10, 20 degree offset globally. That's still not on here. I wish they would fix that, especially for all the be nice. And idle, looking at it, I don't see any. Looks like they just added a little bit more information about what takes place. If you need more air, adjusting the PIDs for quicker action of getting to target and then maintaining. That's what the pits are for. You can see that, like I said, there's more verbiage there. See any more updates as far as that one and idle. If we look at Spark, there still did areas where they did add a little bit more information to some of these areas. Questions about what does what, and until this gets populated or something's published by Aces, there's a lot of questions and a lot of experimenting, especially if you're new to it. Minimum pulse width, they do millivolts and and then that's the minimum pulse. None of this is really industry standard or mimic any other type of software, so make sure you pay attention to your decimal put and injector data, because that can really mess things up. We can talk about this wide open enriched gain table. Basically, it's looking at percentage of TPS over RPM. It gives it some enrichment. I know usually you had to go through and you had to chase this acceleration correction versus TPS. We would chase this to add some more fuel, but you get into 5-10%, it would need a lot more tip in then. To this area table, even if your VE tables was dialed in, the car would run super rich and terrible. So really you couldn't do much adjustment. So this table was supposed to fix the actual tip-in issue by enrichment gain, so it gives you a little bit more control of adding more based off of the RPM range and and the actual percentage of TPS, if that makes sense. However, there's no rate of change, so it doesn't know how quickly this is. So, sometimes you don't need all this fuel. If it was a rate of change, or if they would give us a scale, that would be nice. So we can say, hey, if, the thing is blanking is, say it was at 7 and it was too slow of a change, and we want to speed that up to 8 or 9. That would act quicker. However, this quicker, just another generic table to mask an underlying issue. But this works. You can add more fueling if you're having some issues with lean bog. Transmission, nothing here changed here that I've seen. I waited for more information on this dyno mode threshold. I don't know when they're going to give us details on that, but I don't know. It would make it a lot easier on us if we're, ones that are tuning with the dyno, lock gears, and I made that request several times. It's enable dyno mode. Here it is again. No verbiage, so it's no idea what it's going to do. Yes, there is a change. So this TAC output, I've requested this many times. I'm sure Aces is tired of hearing me make this change. Now it's finally out. But basically, you had one output, which was TAC output. However, people want to run a factory speedometer, and so now you have a VSS out. We really need 2 outputs so we can do both, because you always have an RPM and an RPM gauge. Customers want to maintain factory gauges, but we can only do one or the other. So most of the time people they want VSS, so not just TAC out. We get more outputs where we can do TAC out and speedometer. That's changed. They're all the same. So there's nothing customizable about them. They're fixed. That's the same. Max RP. Yeah, so it looks like all the changes that I've seen thus far. Again, there's this little floating window, so if you want it below when you went through, you clicked, you can move this around. Of course, it'd be super helpful if you could actually, change the ratio. But, it goes, it's kind of fixed. I don't know, maybe they'll fix it at some point. But overall, some much needed changes. There was nothing new in the data log viewer. It still defaults to metric. I asked them to change that, but they haven't done that yet. So all this is still the same. You can't change the scales for each individual to get better resolution. It is what it is. It's one or but. So that should take care of most of the changes that I've seen thus far. Like I said, it's a first-hand look. If I missed something, or if you guys got questions, let me know. I'll try to help you out. If you need remote tuning, just reach out. I offer that service also. Hope this helps. Thanks, guys.